Habitat for Humanity of Mason County.
Absolutely.
You can find them on Facebook and online at habitatmasonwa.org. They have a block party coming up here on the 23rd. So Marty Crow's in studio. Morning, sir.
Good morning. Thanks
Hey,
for having
Marty.
me on.
For
Good
sure.
morning.
Good to
And
see
they were
you.
in the parade as well,
Yeah, you guys
so that
look
was
good in the
very
parade.
cool.
Yeah, we had some fun. We got that shed out in the parade. That's actually a shed that will be raffled off. We're selling tickets ahead of time and also at our store in the day of the event. And that shed will be completed and raffled off at that June 23rd date.
Very fun. So this is, once again, the Upcycle Block Party. Had a heck of a lot of fun last year at it. It was a warm day,
It
but
was
there
a
was
very
plenty of
very warm
shade
day.
and some misters out there and some good food.
Gotta
and
have the
things like
misters,
that
yeah.
for sure.
And some great music.
Great music. That's right. We had music there.
And the great thing is we get to call this our second annual block party.
That's it.
Nice.
So talk to us a little bit about, again, where it'll be, the dates and times, things
So
like
it's
that.
right around our store. The goal was to kind of create some sense of community right there on Mountain View and Olympic Highway North, the Shelton store. It's from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. We'll have some good food, some good music, and a lot of great people doing some upcycling, some projects on site and bringing some projects that they've done at home. But we've got a call out to a lot of people, so if anybody would like to come up and join in the fun and participate in being an upcycler and doing some demonstrations on site, that'd be great. Also, people that would just love to come and volunteer in the morning and help set up or help break down later, can always use the help. But we've got a good team in the store that really helped last year a lot. They helped get everything cleaned up at the end of the day when it was about 100 degrees. So.
It was very
that's
hot.
cool.
It was warm.
I was trying to explain to Vicki what upcycling is and how you can, and how folks are so creative. They see something that was built for one purpose, and they're able to add some magic, and then it's something totally new.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what people's imagination allows them to do. I think a lot of people also use Pinterest to look up ideas and then sort of replicate what they see on Pinterest. But it is fun to see people transform things. You remember a friend of ours that does a lot of upcycling has been taking those small parts bins that you can buy, the little plastic drawers in them,
Yeah.
and labeling them and painting them and using them in kitchens to organize things. And it's pretty amazing to take something that was originally probably designed for the garage and paint it and upcycle it and bring it into your home to do
Very creative.
home organization.
A
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
kinda cool.
artists out here.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, a lot of
That's
artistic
so
things
cool.
happen. It's really fun to watch. And people taking, furniture, painting it, distressing it, making it look new again. So it's fun to see that.
I like that.
How are the Habitats doing here in Shelton and also up in Belfair?
Both stores are doing really well. We've received a couple of semi-loads as we have in previous, years, the last couple of months, and so that's helped us out. If anybody has any office furniture they're looking for, we have a ton of chairs, ton of stacking chairs, lots of conference tables. The stores are doing well. We're also heavy in construction on House 27, which is up on Grandview here in town. That house is just completed electrical and plumbing, and it's ready for installation and drywall probably in the next couple of weeks. So we're making some great progress there. We've got a family excited to move into that. So our goal is to get that wrapped up and get it completed. We plan to break ground on House 29 here in Shelton, also up on Washington Street. We built a house there a couple of years ago. Washington Street. This house is actually about 8 blocks away, further down towards Mountain View School.
Okay.
And that House 29, one of the goals there is when we break ground on that to move quickly to get it to a dried-in stage, i.e. the roof on it and the framing done, siding done, so that as the weather turns in the fall, will be interior working,
yeah.
plumbing, electrical, and interior work.
Oh, good.
So we're going to put a call out to a lot of volunteers to come out and help us get that to a frame stage and dried in, hopefully in 2 or 3 week time.
Sure. So how quickly with the volunteers are you able to get to these positions? And obviously with more volunteers, probably the quicker you get it done.
So we have a preliminary plan in place that we think in about 10 to 12 days we can get it to roof. Going from foundation. So foundation will be set, and then the first volunteer team would come in and set the floor joists and the floor, and then the next probably 2 to 3 days of volunteers would come in and build the frame the house out, and then after that comes the trusses and then roof sheeting, and then get the roofing on it. Then we get down to trim. The nice thing about building the single story, the walls are actually sheeted before they get stood up.
Okay.
So the house looks somewhat, windows are laid in, walls are sheeted. So when the walls are stood up, the house starts to take shape very quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, very
And that's
cool.
why I say 2 to 3 days on that, because of the getting the windows installed and getting the siding on. But the actual frame structure and getting the walls up really can happen in probably 7 days, and then probably another week to 10 days. And again, depending on volunteers and the groups of people that come out.
What are the I mean, all hands on deck, obviously. But what if somebody is maybe newly retired, or it's summertime now for the high school, or for maybe some teachers find themselves with some extra time? What's the skill level that you look for, or is there a desired kind of entry level knowledge on how to build these things?
Well, I know a lot of people have come to us, and we actually had some young people from Choice High School come out and tell us that they've never been in a half-built house. And I love to watch people that have maybe never swung a hammer before actually pick up a nail bag and start putting nails and siding or helping frame walls together. For a lot of people, the first time they've ever seen a wall built on the floor flat and then stood into position and moved in location, then anchored to the floor, and then tied to other walls, that's, for a lot of people, that's very new to them.
Yeah.
But it's fun and exciting to see how houses are put together. I heard up on the house we're on now during a big team build that somebody had no idea how walls were put together and then tied together so that they stay standing.
Sure.
And then anchored to the floor. So the skill level, back to the skill level, if you've ever touched a hammer or a nail, if you can hang a picture on the wall, you're qualified and skilled enough to come work with us.
Oh, that's great.
So
That is great.
And don't be shy if you have never handled a hammer, because there's lots of other things to do.
Yeah.
For instance, when we lay the floor, we need about 4 people that just are really good at squeezing caulk guns to lay the adhesive to bond the floor to the floor joists. That's a big job, and it takes several people to keep pace with the floor sheeting. So there's lots of things like that. There's always small jobs that don't take a lot of skill, or if you want to get involved in hammering, nailing, if you're a skilled carpenter and can measure and cut, that's always helpful too.
I bet.
We take skill levels at all levels, so that I think when people walk away from the job site, especially on team builds, they feel rewarded from the work they've done, and also that they were involved in a team and learned some skills. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Volunteering, should we just head up to the 2 Habitat stores in Mason County? Do we call the stores?
You can
or
go
just come to the
online, you can
website?
call. Deanna, our volunteer coordinator, is always happy and willing to take applications. It's a pretty simple application process. Deanna will get you signed up, and then she will coordinate with our construction teams on when and where the opportunities are. We will be doing, as I said, a lot of team builds throughout this summer, getting the next house started.
That's
nice.
very cool. And I know Jimmy Carter was a big Habitat
Absolutely.
manager.
Sure.
I think he was actually working on a house last summer.
I know. And what's
Yeah.
he
Amazing.
pushing 80?
Yeah.
At least.
Still out there. So any age for volunteering.
Absolutely.
Right.
HabitatMasonwa.org. The street address for the Shelton location is 1826 Olympic Highway North, and the phone number 360-426-8134. We'll put the links in the show notes.
It'll make you feel good too after helping
Absolutely.
build a
People
home
really
for a
enjoy it.
family. Yeah.
not just the
And
sweat
come out and see
equity
it.
for the families, but the sweat equity the community puts
Yeah,
into
Yes.
these
it's great
things.
to watch the community build a structure together.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
And
I
again,
love
the
that.
Upcycle Block Party is coming up on the 23rd from 10 to 3 at the Shelton Habitat for Humanity location. Well, Marty, good to see you.
Thank you for having me, and I
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Marty.
And
Have a great day.
We will have a fun time again on the 23rd.